confidence is truly actually the definition is just the belief that you're capable. That's all it
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
so we really want our owners to feel that confidence in they're capable of this business, and they want
Yeah.
their clients to feel capable of feeling good in their classes. And then, if you don't understand the values of why community matters, then,
Yeah.
man, come to
You're
mom.
barking up the wrong tree. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to get it.
let me teach you. Let me show you.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Franchise. I'm your host, Paul Ehlinger, and we've got arguably one of my favorite people in franchising with us today, Jami Stigliano from DivaDance. Jamie, welcome to the show.
It better not be arguably. I should
I
be
mean,
the favorite person, but
I have to be fair, I can't just come out and say you're my favorite. Nobody else is going to come on the show.
I love it. Well, thank you for having me. I mean, you and I met a couple years a
Yeah.
couple years ago at a conference, and I'm so glad we did. And immediately I was like, this dude is smart. He knows his stuff. I like your style, like your vibe, and so we've done some really great things together
Okay.
since then, and more to come.
Guys, this is not a plant. I didn't tell Jamie to come in here and just say awesome things about me, but thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. For everybody who doesn't know who you are, give us the quick rundown of where the heck you've been. I know you've got a crazy freaking cool career in music. That please just at least touch on it, and then tell us who you are and what Diva Dance is with your running right now.
Yeah, for sure. So DivaDance is dance choreography classes for adults. I am the founder and CEO. I started it kind of by accident, as many of us do. We're trying to solve a problem. So I was a young New York City gal, had just moved there, and for my first big girl job, I was working within the Sony music system in New York City in Manhattan. And I said after work, I wanted to go take a class somewhere and do something fun and meet new people. So I kind of went back into my personal archive of things I like to do, and dance was definitely one of those. I didn't really grow up dancing, but I danced from kind of high school through college, and
Nice.
that was an obvious thing that I wanted to kind of reconnect with. So I went to a class at an amazing facility called Broadway Dance Center. It's awesome, but it was
Yeah.
not for me, and it's not
Yeah.
for a lot of regular folks. So I walked out of there a little defeated, a little frustrated. I certainly didn't find confidence. I definitely didn't find community. And on the corner of 57th and Broadway, said I'm going to teach my own classes. So never intended to franchise that. We'll get kind of to how I landed there, but simultaneously was building my career in the music industry, really helping rappers and pop stars become rich and famous. And I
Yeah.
had my quote unquote little dance classes, that I would do after work and teaching my own classes. Turns out a lot of gals in New York City were just like I was. They were
Yeah.
looking for a dance community. And, over the years, people just kept coming back. I kept showing up, and so did they. So we're super proud of that. And, now I'm in over 52 cities across the U.S. and one in Mexico City as well. So
Yeah.
we're international. And we're at it's a really fun time in our business. So I'm excited to tell more about how we got here and where we're going next.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And I think getting to the root of the problem is super interesting, right? So you go to this class, immediately know it's not for you. Maybe touch on that a little bit, because I think it's what makes you and Diva Dance so interesting is you guys are just really brand forward. You've built that community. Highlight what some of those kind of aspects and characteristics are that you guys are really pushing for with Diva Dance.
Well, we're a community for all adults. And a lot of times in dance or fitness or wellness or movement of any sort, it's not for everyone. And so we have really prided ourselves on catering to folks who are not Broadway bound. They're not Beyonce backup dancer bound, but they may want to feel like it, for a few minutes a day.
Yeah.
And so, that was me. I didn't have a dance. I didn't and don't have a quote unquote dancer's body. I never wanted to be on a stage. I never wanted to, be a rockette. I mean, maybe in my mind, but that I wanted to kind of like have that, kind of showwomanship in my and how I perform and dance. But I really did dance for my own intrinsic needs. And that's what I found, in terms of mentioning community. A
Yeah.
lot of people want that. Kids
Yeah.
dance. We do so many things when we're younger that we kind of lose sight of. Like what were you into when you were a kid? Were you into sports? What
Oh,
was your like kid thing?
all of the above. I played multiple sports. I read constantly. Was a
Yeah.
big nerd. I'd ask my parents to tell me math problems to solve. But yes, definitely the sports was my big thing.
Right. So okay, so what's a sport you played when you were a kid that you loved the most?
When I was a kid, it would have been baseball.
Okay, so when was the last time you played baseball now at a as a,
Actual baseball, not like beer league softball. I mean, 20 years, 15 years,
And see, and that's a shame. And so,
It's
you know, there's a
sad.
lot.
Yeah, it's I've lost my kindred spirit of my
Because
childhood.
little Paul loved
Little
playing
baby Paul.
baseball.
Yeah.
But so big Paul wants to play baseball, you know. So that's how I really was. Like little me loved to dance, and then
Yeah.
you know, even older, and then and woman me, you know, grown up me
Yeah.
wanted to do that again, and that's what I'm seeing over and over and over. So that's that shared community.
Yeah.
It's less of a like. Truthfully, I've actually never even said it this way. It's less about where we're going together in dance,
Mm,
but where we came from with dance. Like it
that's
used to be
really
part of
intriguing.
us, and we wanted to, you know, reconnect with that. And so turns out that there's not just, it's not just in big cities, it's
Yeah.
not just in the US. Like this is something that is, you know, everyone, dance is part of all of us. That's actually science. It's part of all of our
Yeah.
chemical makeup.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, and I think you've touched on it because I think it has to contribute. I think as brands grow, I think their brand values and who they are kind of gets a little more generic, right? It gets more corporate over time, and they still like live by them, do them. I don't think that's happening for you guys, and maybe it's because it is such an emotionally connected thing. Like, how do you continue to push that as like you're over 50 locations now? You guys are growing fast. You've got big plans to grow even more over the next 5 years. How do you maintain what you have here?
Well, I read a book when I first started franchising called The Culture Code. If you haven't
Hmm.
read it, it's a must read, or at least watch the YouTube summary, you know, get
Yeah.
absorb the information somewhere.
Yeah.
But you know, he talks about whatever your values are. It's like basically the book is about how do great teams succeed. So he
Yeah.
profiles like the Spurs, the, you know, Navy SEALs, like how do
Hmm.
great teams become how they are, and great groups
Yeah.
starts with safety and belonging. But one of the biggest things is just knowing where we're going together, and
Mm.
like our values that we have, that we all kind of march to that beat on, don't be quiet about it. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, literally in this video, for folks watching the video of this, I have our two company kind of outward
She's doing
facing
the
values
thing. Yeah.
on, literally, and we put it on our t-shirts. I had a moment a few years ago where we had a different kind of shirt design for our
Mm.
new members, and then I was like, you know what, we're going to put our values right there, so it says
Yeah.
confidence, community, diva dance. And so, you know, really, whenever, one of the things I love the most, and to answer your question, how do we get everybody aligned with that, is
Hmm.
you just don't let them forget it. Like I have armed our community with the talking points. You
Yeah.
know, from every single class, we all kind of say the same. I mean, that's that ritual, that's that shared vision. And I think
Yeah.
any great community, whether it's a church, a school, Girl Scouts, a sorority, any kind of organization, charitable cause, if we all kind of can know and recite our own vision and
Yeah.
values, you know, it's hard to, if you, once you have it in your bones, it's hard to let it go. So you could
Yeah.
literally ask anybody who's been to more than a couple diva dance classes, and they would tell you confidence and
Confidence
community.
community. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's brilliant. And I think, yeah, the way you execute on it is what makes it meaningful, right? Like it's real, it's a living thing, it's growing with us as we go there. So I think that's super intentional. Um, I'm
Well, one
sorry.
one thing you mentioned on that too, to add to what you're saying, is, you know, my whole career in the music business, I literally was making rappers and pop stars rich and famous. So
Yeah.
essentially, what I've tried to take from that career and bring into diva dance is my ability to celebritize and
Mm.
galvanize. And that's
Yeah.
what I was responsible for doing, was building fan bases for major recording artists. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot more money then. I had millions of dollars to work
Sure.
with, great
Sure.
videos
Yeah.
and advertising and Times Square billboards and fancy music videos. So I don't have those resources. But you know what I think about a lot, Paul? I'm like, but what if I did?
Oh,
What if I
yeah.
did have, and hopefully we will. You know, we are about to start a round of fundraising that, you know, I'm
Yeah.
really excited about, to help us get some of that growth capital that we need. But
Hmm.
that's really what I do, is celebritize and galvanize. So creating like fans, rabid fans of something, and then mobilizing them, like getting them to do something with that love and passion that they have. So we've had a lot of fun doing that. And the good
Yeah.
news is it's all like, it helps the world, you know, and so we
Yeah.
really tell that story frequently.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I love how you go about it. I was actually telling Joe this the other day. I was like, I try to envy you, and I try to act through you with how I see you at conferences and stuff like that. I think I'm a bit of an introvert, and so like seeing how you interact with people inspires me to also do it the same way. And I think you do a great job. I didn't even think about it from like celebritize and galvanize. It's exactly what you do, and you're good at
Thank you. It's actually really fun. It comes from like pure joy, you know. I mean, when we talk about
it. Yeah,
community, and we think about, like, you know, my little self, like I've always been, you know, maybe because I was, you know, essentially I had too much older brothers, and I was kind of an
yeah,
only child growing up because I had too
yeah,
much older brothers. So I was kind of like a lonely kid a lot. Like I needed
yeah,
my Girl Scout troop. I needed my neighbors down the street. I needed
yeah,
these little communities. And then as I got older, I'm like, man, these communities are shaping who I am. So
yeah,
I've tried to transfer that too to our franchise owner communities. And that's what I
yeah.
love about franchising so much, and excited to talk more about what franchising has done for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a great transition point, right? I think something we were talking about just this week was not losing sight of the day to day for your franchisee as you continue to grow, right? It gets harder and harder. You get pulled out. You need to think bigger. You need to work on the business, not in the business. But how do you, as a CEO, continue to keep that top of mind? Continue to keep that franchisee experience top of mind as you're growing?
So I'm actually going to give some breaking news on this podcast. I'm
Here
going to
we
give
go,
some
everybody. Let's go.
exclusive insight. That's the music business trick too, right? You
Exact. Drop
drop
the
some
breaking news.
exclusives. So it's so true as you become in entrepreneurship. One of the biggest things you hear in every podcast, every article, everything you hear is you got to work on the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
You hear that constantly, and I do
Yeah.
believe in that. But I have found that if you work too much on the business, you
Yeah.
forget what it's like to be in the business.
Yeah.
And over the last few months, I was feeling that. There was a point a few months ago where we were making decisions for franchisees, and I
Mm-hmm.
realized that I don't even know what their pain point is. I mean, you can do surveys and you can
Sure.
anecdotally, and I have a great relationship with our owners. I'm proud of that. So
Yeah.
I can call them up anytime and hear the experience they're having. But one of our kind of internal, part of our ethos is I know versus I think. And
Yeah.
so really I want to know, not just think. So a few months ago, I was like, well, let me shadow an owner for a day and kind of see what their day-to-day experience is like. And then the opportunity came. I had an owner looking to exit her business for some, moving to different direction with her family, and they were relocating and things like that. And it happened to be the territory immediately next to my HQ
Yeah,
territory,
that's
which is here
crazy.
in Austin, Texas. And
Yeah.
she literally had the territory that is 6 minutes from my house. And I had a moment where I was like, well, why don't I just buy it? And then I said, well, the classic visionary, for those who follow the entrepreneur operating system in EOS, very much a visionary. I am the visionary in our organization, and it's like classic visionary. And this happened to me a little bit less than a month ago, but over the last month, I have very much stepped. So I did acquire that unit.
Yeah.
I am the owner. It is not a company owned
Let's
unit.
go.
Jami Stigliano is the owner. And I have had so much fun the last 1 month getting back into the business, and the
Yeah.
empathy I've had for owners. I mean, I did inherit a lot of great things from her. She had great studio partners. She had a great staff. She did a great job. She really teed it up well,
Yeah.
so I was by no means was I taking like a failing unit, but also not one of our top performing units either.
Sure.
Really good middle
Right
swimmer.
in the middle. Yeah.
Right. And it's been so much fun to kind of get back in there and see two big things. One, what we're doing right as an HQ and as a
Absolutely.
franchisor. And so I've used our ticketing system. I've used our setup instructions. I've followed and also testing my own assumptions has been huge.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this to you about, I don't want to just assume that our training is good. I want to know versus I think. So I've been my advice to any entrepreneur is, don't work so much on the business that you totally forget
Yeah.
what it is like to be in the business. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you need to go buy your own store, but maybe,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it has been fantastic. I gave myself all the same terms as a
Yeah.
normal franchisee. I pay my royalties, everything, of course,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so that has been really eye-opening. And the second thing I'd say, in addition to what we're doing right, are some of those opportunities we have to improve. And
Yeah.
I've caught a couple things of like, this doesn't make sense, or wow, this is really inefficient, and things that we've been talking to Flamel about for the last year or so about
Yeah.
the owner experience day to day. And there's no excuse
Yeah.
nowadays to not create efficiencies. There's the
Yeah.
technology exists. We got to do it. So now as stepping back into that owner seat has been really fun to firsthand. I actually jokingly referred to my market as DivaDance Sandbox. We name them all DivaDance Austin,
Yeah.
DivaDance
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no, I'm the owner of DivaDance Sandbox because
Yeah.
I'm over there testing and playing with some things in real time. So I told Joe, my husband, for those listening, he works for our company, and he and Paul have stricken up a nice nerddom, a nerd growth. I told him, I go, this is either the most genius thing I've done or the dumbest, but I feel really confident that it is pretty genius. So more to come. Next time we talk, we'll see.
Yeah, I love that, and I have full confidence in it. I fully agree with it. Like we run my wife's social through Flamel for the same reason, right? It's like she is not a marketer, she's not anything like that. If she can run it, anybody can run it.
Gotta know. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of dog fooding. I think you've got to do it. So
More
I
to come.
love
And by
that.
the way, if I can't find the financial success with the business, then we have a deeper problem. I have no
Correct.
problem.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, if I'm the founder, certainly, like, I have to run it efficiently, but a lot of my owners have day jobs, and
Correct. Yeah.
I have a day job too. I'm the founder and CEO of the brand, so
Yeah.
I've got to be able to navigate that, and I'm a mom, and I have, so I have to be able to navigate that just like we ask our owners to do. So more to
Yeah.
come. I'm really excited about it.
I love that. I firmly believe you should really build content around that. Like, I think this story is such a fascinating story for you to tell in the context of as it's happening, right? Because I think it is a unique experience. There's not a lot of people who go and do exactly what you're doing the way you're
Yeah.
doing it right
I
now.
mean, I call leads. I mean, just before you and
Do
I
you
jumped on,
really?
I was
I love
calling.
that.
Heck yeah. I actually, you know what? Let me tell you something. This is really important
Yep.
because I'm calling people who saw a DivaDance ad
Yep.
and said this looks fun, and
Yep.
they had something going on with them that pulled them in that moment. They were like, I have been feeling a little lacking in my confidence, or I have, I do need to get more active, or I do need to meet new
Yeah.
people. So the reason we fill out a thing on an ad is because we felt something in that moment. And so
Yep.
I've been trying to get my speed to lead and calling leads. So I love calling leads because I'm like, this is a person that wants to be part of my brand. Like,
Right.
what? So
That's
cool.
so
And then
cool. Yeah.
and it's like I get ding. I mean, even in the middle of this conversation, I've gotten 6 leads in the last
That's
19
crazy.
minutes. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like ding, 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 ding. So
Yeah.
it's awesome, and so I definitely recommend it. If you whatever matter what your franchise concept is, make sure you still eat the food. Make sure you still are in touch with the workers' experience. And
Yeah.
like, what is it
Yeah.
like to be on those front lines? So it's been
Yeah.
fun.
No, I absolutely love that. And I think building into it, I think I've touched on it a little bit. You are one of the most authentic people I know. I think it's one of your greatest strengths as a leader. And I think it comes through in what you're doing here. How do you think about that? Like bringing authenticity into your role as a CEO, but also into like the brand you're building? Because I think it all does morph around it. Like you are a community based person, you are a hands on leader. And it's like, you're doing all those things to prove it. How do you bring that to the franchisees who they're different? They've got different personalities, all this stuff. How do you galvanize your franchisees around that?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, it's funny because sometimes we talk about core values, and I'm like, well, mine are confidence and community. That's just what mine are. Like I don't have this whole like other set of values. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I do. Like, this is who I am. And you know what? It's funny you mentioned this too because I actually turned. Sometimes when people tell you one has a lot of confidence, like
Mm.
this is kind of like a backhanded compliment I got my whole life. Growing up, the people would be like,
Oh,
"Wow,
you're like real confident, aren't you?
you
Yeah.
have a lot of confidence," and I'm like,
That's
"Well,
some southern nice right there. You got that growing
oh,
up in New York?
well, no, I grew up in Texas, but I
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I grew up in Texas. So yeah, a lot of backhanded ladies being like, "Well, don't you just have a
Aren't you a
lot of
confident
confidence?"
young lady?
And so yeah, but that's definitely one of my core values. I mean, in terms of what I look for in an owner, as long as they are aligned with the values being important to people
Yeah,
and they understand what confidence does for you, they don't have to walk in here the most, they don't have to
sure.
own the room. They don't, they just, but they need to understand why confidence is fuel
Hmm.
in life. I was talking to my husband about our daughter, our 5-year-old daughter, and
Yeah.
and how she's just her confidence is so sturdy. And I
Yeah.
was telling Joe, I was like, I would rather her go through and be like that and be like a little, I was called bossy when I was a kid. I was called other little thing or kind of labeled that. And I said to Joe, I go, it's not a bad way to go through life. It's
Right.
not.
Right.
So I'm looking for owners who maybe they need to, level up their confidence. We're here to do that for them. We want to help them
Yeah.
feel confident. Confidence is truly actually the definition is just the belief that you're capable. That's all it
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
so we really want our owners to feel that confidence in they're capable of this business, and they want
Yeah.
their clients to feel capable of feeling good in their classes. And then, if you don't understand the values of why community matters, then,
Yeah.
man, come to
You're
mama.
barking up the wrong tree. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got to get it.
let me teach you. Let me show you. And if you still don't get
Yeah.
it, then maybe we're not for you. And so,
Yeah.
even if the owner themselves are not like, again, they don't bring Beyonce level confidence to what their business at first. Our goal is to get them there, just like it is to get our clients in the door, to bring them through that journey in our
Yeah.
experience as well.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think one of the things I'm always curious by, right? Like, I think as a brand, how do you bring in such diverse people and do that, right? Because I think of it and it's like, it makes sense why you run DivaDance, right? Like, if I had to imagine a brand you're running, it's this. But like, say I come in, my personality a bit. I'm definitely not as big and about everything. Like, how would you coach me through it to be like, hey, this is how we can get you to being a great franchisee of DivaDance?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I believe in our system. And
Yeah,
so I feel confident that as long, listen, there's two things. As anybody who's read The Wealthy Franchisee, Scott Greenberg's one of my most favorite
yeah,
people in franchising and in business, is mindset and skill set. So
yeah,
we are committed to helping franchisees no matter what your personality is.
yeah,
We want to make sure you have a high mindset and a high skill set around
yeah.
each part of your business. That is
Hmm.
so important because, and it's not just a generic label of, oh, they're a high mindset person. You
Yeah,
can be very high mindset about one part of what you're doing, but
yeah,
low mindset about another part. Or you could
yeah,
be high skill set but low mindset. So we really help owners, every single owner that comes in. By the way, we have a lot of fellas that are part of our business.
yeah.
They're partners to the operating principal, which is typically
I love that.
the female in the relationship. But we have a lot of fellas who, by the way, they have said that their confidence has improved being part of our
I love
company,
that.
and
Yeah.
they're not necessarily teaching and they're not necessarily taking all the classes, but they're getting the indoctrination. you
Yeah,
know?
they're like
So,
hearing Jamie in the background of a phone call, just
I mean,
indoctrinating confidence into their spouse.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
true. It's
I
true. But
believe it. I fully believe it.
that mindset and skill set for anyone listening, like, you got to read The Wealthy Franchisee, and
Yeah,
definitely absorb the idea. We really coach our owners on how to coach their teams to have
mm,
high mindset, high skill set over every part of the
mm,
job, and then by doing that, our owners start to see their own mindset increase and their own skill
yeah.
set increase. So that's sort of our the tactic that we use to get there.
Yeah, no, I love it, and it makes a ton of sense. I'm curious about this one. So I think you are an international company. You do have a location down in Mexico City. You're, in my opinion, young for being international, right? Like, there's not a ton that have as few. How do you manage that? Like, what was that process like when you first went international? It had to have been a curveball. It had to have been exciting, scary, opportunistic, all of that. What is it like being the size you are and growing internationally?
Well, first of all, I live in Texas, which is basically Mexico,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
it's not that far for us.
Yeah.
But my first franchisee in Mexico is an awesome woman named Carolina. She was
Yeah.
part of our San Antonio community.
Yeah.
She was an instructor in San Antonio, and she split her time with San Antonio and in Mexico City. She's from there. Her family was there, and so she came to me. I was teaching down in. I love to visit markets and teach.
Yeah.
I love to get my hands on the community. So she came to me, and one time I was there, and she was like, Mexico City, I really want to bring this there. And usually when people say that, I'm like, okay, well, we'll see.
Sure.
I don't want to overextend and I want to stay focused. And but the more I got to know her, and she's an awesome woman. She's an architect. She has great taste. She's got a great personality. She seemed to have it all, and very bought into our brand. So
Yeah.
I was not approached by a stranger. She's really from
Sure.
within our community, and that made it more accessible, as well as the geography being like, well, we shot all of
Yeah.
our promotional materials in El Paso, in our franchise in El
Did
Paso,
you really?
and
Yeah, I
like,
love
we had people that we were like, okay, we feel like we can represent the Mexican
yeah, the
women.
community down there. Yeah.
Yeah, we get represented authentically, and I trusted her. And
Yeah.
so that was really, if I didn't know, if she came in kind of net new, I
Hmm.
would have maybe not said this is worth exploring. And
Yeah.
in that process, we did hire a project manager just to be sort of our boots on the ground and
Yeah.
build that direct relationship with her, obviously native Spanish speaker. And so it has been a great experience. So I would say to anyone thinking of expanding international, definitely make it somebody if you
Sure.
trust.
Yeah.
If it's over
Eliminate
there,
some variables, right?
yeah, they definitely like no. So that has really helped us a lot, and we've learned a ton from it as well. We
Yeah.
definitely don't have plans. Canada, I think, would also obviously be very easy for us to expand into very confidently. We
Hmm.
haven't found the right people there yet to be our partners, but
Yeah.
so that's been great. But now, what I'm not going to do, well, I'm again visionary. You never know. DivaDance Australia in 2 minutes, 2 minutes
Yeah.
from now. That is definitely kind of a 5-year plan to continue that international expansion.
Yeah.
But right opportunity comes along, then certainly we'll entertain it. But right now we have a lot of white space on
Yeah.
the North America map. We'd like to fill it.
Yeah. No, I love that. I mean, I just met the head of the Guatemalan Franchise Association today.
Let's
So,
go.
like, maybe it's there. I don't know. Maybe it's there.
I mean, Latin America is such an amazing place. Like,
Yeah.
and those women. A like big moment of my diva dance career
Yeah.
is teaching at diva dance Mexico City. Like,
That had to have been crazy.
it was incredible. And I taught Beyonce Run the World, which was just like kind of one of my staple routines that I've had in the,
I
I've
love
taught that
that.
a billion times. And so it was kind of like one of my original routines. It would be sort of my go-to routine when I would go
Hmm.
visit places and do things. And to teach that there was really special. So it's just been awesome. Again, we've learned a ton from it a couple
Yeah.
of things I might structure a little bit differently, but she's been a great partner, and it's teed us up well to grow in Latin America when we're ready.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And I think as you think about growth, right? Like I know you guys were going through some pretty big changes. You implemented EOS recently. I always consider that like, hey, we're serious. We're building systems for growth now. What do you think you need to do differently to go from 50 to 150 than you did to go from 0 to 50? And I know the number's not 50. I'm generalizing the number because I
Oh,
forget the
sure.
exact one. But you get the point. You have an inflection point. What are you
Yeah.
changing and how you operate to get to that next level?
EOS is to me non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Had we not done this, I mean, we just started implementation in January with our amazing implementer, Landon Eccles, and I
Shout out
chose
Landon. Yeah, we both know
uh,
Landon. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah,
he's the best. Well, one of the big reasons, other than he's just a super smart guy, and
yeah.
I just vibe with him, is he was a founder. He
He built
founded a
a yeah
company.
he built a franchise, right?
Yeah, and so for any founder listening to this, listen, there's a lot of great EOS implementers out there, and
Yeah,
no, but he was a great fit for us, and is a great fit for us because
yeah,
he understands me, and
yeah.
he understands the people around the table of what we're
Hmm.
building. Who, by the way, still at this part of my company, these are my friends.
Yeah,
I have
it's a
not hired.
beautiful thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
these are my. I mean, my around that table of leadership is one of my very best friends,
yeah. It's the
another one
circle
of
of
my very
trust.
and my husband. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and a friend of mine from college who was my sorority sister. That is my leadership team still. So,
yeah,
so definitely EOS. I needed a great implementer, and we needed to implement EOS. So
yeah,
EOS really it forces you to run your business differently. So that is
yeah.
critical. We need to follow, just like in franchising. You got to follow the system. I got to follow the
Follow the
system with
system.
EOS. Yep,
Yeah,
I got to follow the system, and we are, and it's working, and it's great. The second big thing is capital. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of people think when you get to a certain size of a brand that you're good. But I,
yeah,
I would argue, frankly, that I think 50 to 100 for us is going to be arguably harder financially than it even was for me to get to the 50,
yeah,
because there's more eyes on us. I need more people. I can't
yeah,
do everything by myself,
yeah,
and certainly, we have royalties coming in, but I still need my franchise fees. I need those cash infusions from franchise fees, but you're also getting bigger. So I have to continue to be selective about the folks that
yeah,
we award territories to. And
yeah,
so, we definitely are looking for capital partners right now. By no
yeah,
means am I looking for an exit, but we are looking for growth capital. And so we
yeah,
know what we have. I just, to get me to that whole next echelon, I need to follow the system, and then I need capital to deploy the vision,
yeah.
because the vision is solid. What I don't need anymore, I don't need consultants right now. I don't need
Sure.
coaches right now.
Yeah,
I have a great advisory board. So I
yeah,
invested in that a couple of years ago. Some amazing people. I need my advisory board and Landon and
yeah,
EOS, and then continuing for me to stay inspired, and then I need money to execute. That's really what
yeah.
we need right now.
Yeah, I mean you make a great call out. I fully agree. I think there is this like I don't want to call it a valley of death, that's like extreme. There's this like difficult valley where you reach a certain amount of skill that requires headcount, right? Like you
Yeah,
get to a point where it's like, hey, we need people to support the amount of locations we have.
yeah,
And if you have plans to double, triple, quadruple in size, you need
yes.
even more people and systems. And it's
Well,
a very
and
difficult
we
spot
didn't.
to grow out of.
It's so true. And we've invested in Easy Assist, which is our
Yeah.
AI
Shout
bot,
out
and
Raphael. I love Easy Assist. They're
those
great
guys
guys.
are freaking awesome. That has
Yeah.
really transformed the way we support our franchisees. Listen, again, shout out to them, because that has empowered us to use my human resources where we really need it, which is coaching and relationship
Sure.
building. And
Yeah.
so that has been great. That Coco, our bot, fetches the logo, fetches the link, fetches the instructions, fetches the how to. So that's
Yeah.
been great. So we've definitely upgraded our systems, but there are a few key hires that, man, if I had those people,
Yeah.
my people who are in those seats could thrive even more. So definitely. And people, when you get to a certain point, well, also I've tapped my friend talent base. All my friends, I've employed them. So you get to a place where, okay, now I got to start hiring from
Yeah.
outside. And
Outside
this
the
year
world.
we brought in a couple of folks from within the franchising space who had that experience. I mean,
Yeah.
they have more franchising experience than I do.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've been doing this.
Yeah.
And so so definitely at some point I've got to identify those folks that can sit in either that senior level seat or in that middle seat, to just
Yeah.
pull everybody up, because we're kind of morphing from generalists to specialists, which is exciting,
100%.
but
Yeah.
it's going to take some capital to round it out.
Yeah, no, 100%. I also think about it, as a business owner myself and a leader, I think about how, you almost have to change with each stage of your business. There's parts of you that do. There's the stuff that's core, that is who you are. It's your identity. It's why you are where you are. How do you think about how you have to grow over the next 5 years? Because I think, again, I'm a big fan of yours, so I love to hear your thought process as to how you're changing and how you're growing. What does that look like for you in 5 years? Like, who is Jami 5 years from now, and how have you adapted and grown to rise to running a multi-hundred unit brand by then?
Well, thank you. I've changed a lot. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
the least patient person on the planet, but there's something about the place that we've been in the last couple of years that I didn't have any choice but to be patient. I didn't have
yeah,
a choice, because whether if you're going through like a recapitalization or you're like you're rebuilding a system or something like that. So it has pushed me way out of my comfort zone because whenever we were smaller, I could just do stuff.
yeah.
I was
Just get it
like,
done yourself too.
I just do it, which is why DivaDance Sandbox has been kind of fun because I'm like, okay, well, let me just
Yeah,
test this over here. So I have changed in letting go of the need for me to be the ultimate decider on certain things. So
such a
it's
big
part of
step.
it's huge, and and
Yeah,
and part of EOS is I have an integrator, so I have an
yeah,
amazing woman named Marissa who currently is sitting in two seats on our accountability chart, but we're hoping to get her into
getting into
one when
one.
we have the money to get her, get another person, or
Yeah,
we can allocate that. But I the good news is I know, like, and trust her.
yeah,
That KLT is so important. I know her well now after several years of 5, 6 years of us working together. I
yeah,
like her. She's smart, and I freaking trust her. So when you have
yeah.
that person as a visionary that you can be like, you know what, like even just today, people. And here's the other thing: you have to retrain people that you're not the go-to on things.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
in EOS, what's cool about EOS is in an EOS meeting, even though I'm the CEO, the visionary does not run the meeting. The
I
integrator
love
runs
that.
the meeting.
Yeah, I
So
love that.
it has forced me to be a great member, and I'm always in charge, but I'm also a good member as long as
Yeah,
whoever is in charge,
is good.
they got it. Exactly. So
Yeah,
that's really what has forced me is like, you know what? I have no problem being a person at the table,
yeah,
participating in the conversation because she's great and I
yeah,
trust her. And
yeah,
she and I are aligned on the vision. So I have had to work on my patience. I've had to put someone in place that I know, like, and trust.
yeah.
And I have to pick the things that I really need say on,
Hmm.
versus the things that I don't care as much about. And then I have to know, and this is a great message for any entrepreneur, you've got to know that the time you're reallocating is for the good of the order. It's for the
Sure.
good of the company. So it's like the time I'm reallocating to that I'm not like micromanaging every email that went out in this
Yeah, sure.
campaign, that
It's
like I'm
being put
doing
somewhere
really,
more important.
yeah, I'm talking to people like you where I'm like making sure
Yeah,
people know about our brand and I'm like getting to be out there. And so
yeah,
that's really huge, but I'm still very impatient, so I don't want to lose that. But I've really had to work on that big time. I have two small children now. That
yeah.
has helped my patience big time as well.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I mean, and it begs the question: time management. Everybody's got their own system. What's yours? Obviously, the answer is you work all the time, like a
Yeah.
crazy person like me. What do you do
Yeah.
to manage it, though? How do you balance it? I think that's something I think a lot about. I don't believe in work life balance. I think that doesn't exist. There is no
No.
50-50. I
No.
consider it like a dance, it's fluid,
It's
right?
harmony.
Like, yeah,
It's work life harmony. I mean, the key for me has been, well, first of all, I love to work. I
yeah,
love to work.
yeah.
And so if I'm just hanging out at home and like my girls are occupied, they're playing and they don't even like, I'm getting to the age with my children where they like kind of don't want me to play with
They're
them.
like, hey, we're trying to like do some stuff over here by
Yeah,
ourselves, mom.
they're like, no, mom. And I'm like, you know what? Then I'm going to be over here on my laptop. I'm going to be doing stuff.
Yeah,
And you know what? Here's the thing is I don't care what anybody says about that. Like, I don't care if
yeah,
someone's like, oh, you should be on the floor playing with your children. It's like, well, I do that a ton. But right
yeah,
now they don't want me. And so
yeah,
like I'm good. I'm gonna just be over here doing my thing. So I love to work and I know when my kids need me,
mm,
and I know when they need me to be kind of like letting them do their thing. And
yeah,
I fill that time with the click work or the things that I need to be
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
I'm also just so relentless with the pursuit of our potential with this brand
yeah,
that I'm like, I can't even like rest until we've achieved it. Like
yeah.
I don't even sometimes go to bed until my body's like, bitch, you gotta go. I'm
it's
done.
it's now or never. We're gonna have
Yeah.
bigger problems if we don't do
Yeah.
it.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to work one more hour because I
it's
like
in
it.
Oh, I have the same insanity. It's like you're sitting there and you're like, you never know. This one email might be the email. And I think it's what you need. You need it to be an entrepreneur, but man, is it maddening at times, right? When you're sitting there, it's like 2 a.m. and you're in bed on your computer, like, what the heck am I doing
Oh
right
my
now?
gosh. So the other day I was laying in bed and I was kind of in that like starting to fall asleep mode, and Joe was still awake and I go, "Hey, can you Slack me something?" can you slack me? And I gave him just a few key words of something I had thought about. I can't remember what it was,
Yeah.
but it was like, can you slack me? Check the marketing plan for blah. I don't even remember what it was. But so literally the next morning I woke up and he had slacked because I didn't want to forget. I was literally like 1 second before sleep, but I
Yeah.
didn't want to forget this thing that I had thought of. So listen, the bottom line is that I love what I do and I'm motivated by my own potential and by what we're building. And I've also come so, and I can see it now. Like we're
Yeah.
so close to the like, a big next inflection point for us of like, we did it,
Yeah.
that I'm just like running full speed. So, but
I
I
love
do,
that.
I work out. That's me time. When I am with my daughters and they need me to be present, I do my very best to be, and I do a lot of stuff outside of working with my kids. It's like we go to the park.
Yeah.
Now again, my husband and I work together, so we're swinging kids on the swing, and we're like, okay,
Sure.
so that retargeting campaign, what do you think we should do?
Yeah.
But this is all for them, and Joe and I
Yeah.
talk about that a ton where we're like, you know what, we want these girls to be like, her
Yeah.
her mom is the founder of DivaDance. Like I
Yeah.
want these girls to have that, like, we
Yeah.
did something big and they get to benefit from it. So,
I
I
think
don't know
that's
that I'm
awesome.
great at time management. I just work really hard and really fast
Yeah.
and really a lot. And, but I'm great at delegation. I'm
Yeah.
really good at delegating and finding good people to help me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the game. I love that. I have the same motivation. So my wife, she runs her own business as well. We do the same thing. It's just like, hey, this is for our
Yeah.
kids. Like we never saw it when we were growing up. Like the fact that
Yeah.
you could even own a business is like a foreign concept to us, And now it's like, I almost expect our kids to like they're going to be like 9 wanting to start a business or something.
Yeah, this is our. It's so funny because I even coach my girls. Like my older daughter came home and she was like, "Oh, I traded Joanne, her little friend Joanne. I traded Joanne her bracelet for this bracelet." And I go, "Well, next time, why don't we get Joanne to give you her bracelet and her sticker, and you give her the, like?" I'm like, and Joe looks at me. He's like, "Are you fucking
What are
kidding
you
me?"
doing?
Or I'll be like Evan, that's my older daughter. I'm like, Evan, you know that you're in charge, right? Or like I'll like really, I really want her to just, I want to reinforce her sturdy confidence because again,
Yeah,
not a bad way to go through life. So, but
no,
yeah,
I think
no
it's
work life balance. It's all harmony, and hopefully, 10 years from now, we're like, we look back at this time of building our business, and we're like, we had to
hell
do
yeah.
that. That was the part of the movie at that time.
Yeah, no, I love that framing of it. Moving to the last section, I always like to do quick hitters. Basically, first thing that comes to mind, you give me your thoughts on it, which I think you'll be really good at. What is largest fitness trend that's overhyped right now?
Fucking Pilates. What is going on? Like, I don't understand. Like, first of all, I think Pilates is boring. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it.
These are not the views of the show. This is the views of Jamie. There's
I'm
a lot
so
of great
I'm so
Pilates franchises out there.
listen. I like to shake my ass. I don't want to like put a little slingshot around my leg
Yeah,
and
no
like,
reformer Pilates for you, huh?
no, I don't need to do all that. I guess I'm just like, I don't get it, but listen, you do you. And honestly, the best workout is the one you do. So if you're
That's a
truly,
great way to frame it. Yeah.
if you love Pilates, you keep doing it. I don't need to go with you though. But anyways, all the brands are beautiful. I've seen some amazing, beautiful brands. P-Volve is amazing, and
Yeah.
there's so many amazing brands in Pilates. But I don't know. I don't know
I
that
just
we
don't
need
think I
that.
was expecting that, but I'm all the way here for it.
What would you say?
Overhyped fitness trends. I think biohacking. I think people think they're doing more than they are, and 90% of it's bullshit. But I'm
Okay.
also a biomedical engineer by training, so I think that clouds my
Okay.
visions about it. People just get hyped by Twitter, and then they're like, "Oh, I got to take these things," and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, the
"You're
what's the
peeing
guy?
all of it out."
What's that
Andrew
doctor that
Huberman.
like? Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I mean, he's a great podcaster, but I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
about all this
All right.
stuff. Favorite dance
Controversy
pop.
here.
What are you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna like cease and desist from Dr. Andrew Huberman now.
I guess I'm not going to be acquired by any Pilates brand, so that's fine.
We've ensured that.
Fine.
Favorite dance pop,
Wait, what do you mean?
like pop dance. What are you doing? What's your
Oh, like
jazzed
what
up?
artist?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So, I mean, I like booty shakers, man. Like, if
Yeah.
there's like city girls twerkulator. I also love, I love juvenile back that ass up. But
Okay.
I love jazzy stuff too. I love Ariana, and I love
Okay.
the new, like, the Beyonce moment that was a couple years ago where she, with Break My Soul, it had like '90s club vibes.
I
So
loved
that's
Break My Soul. I was there for it. Yeah.
oof.
Yeah,
I
I'm there
mean,
for it.
listen, I first started really dancing in the early '90s and like 1994 when I like joined my
Yeah.
high school dance team, and that was Technotronic and Black Box and like
Oh yeah.
La Bouche, like that was the sound at that time. So that's before
Yeah.
you were born, but
I
I
was
was,
I was born 2 years before that. Thank you very
yeah,
much.
okay. Well, there you go. But that's my jam. I mean, I will dance to anything, truthfully,
Yeah.
honestly. But that's what I do.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm a really poor dancer. I try to stay away from it as much as possible. It's for the betterment of everybody.
That's what people say until you come to Diva Dance, and then you're like, I never knew I could do this.
Hear me out. I'm the same way though. If I have a couple drinks at a wedding and like some like '90s, early 2000s hip hop and R&B comes on, like that's my jam. I can go
You
with
hear
that.
those first few beats of Back That Ass Up, the dum
My
dum
ass is being backed up.
dum.
I have
Correct,
to.
correct.
What's this is like my favorite question. What's something you've changed your mind about recently? A belief you held, a thought you had that you changed your mind on. You were like, I was wrong. I need to do it this way.
Well, I'm going to Pilates after this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Something I was wrong about. Okay, I got a good one on this. Actually, there was a moment where I was like, nobody cares about Google Business. Like, there was a
Yeah.
moment where I started to write it off because I was
People
like,
freaking love the 3-pack, baby. If you're in the 3-pack, you're good.
so yeah, so I was like, Google Business is a waste of time. It's stupid. We don't need. And now I'm like, no, no, no. We got to double down on
Yeah.
reviews because of the way it's it indexes you and all the stuff all the stuff that you do.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's something I was starting to go into like wrong direction, and I course corrected pretty quick the more
Yeah.
I read about AI and how I'm like, actually, we got to double down. So we're about to start working with a listings management
Nice.
company just to because that was it for years. I was like, no, we don't get bad reviews. Everyone loves Diva Dance, and so that was something I just think and as we've gotten bigger, I see some of the reviews come in and I'm like, what do you mean you didn't love it?
You're
And
calling
so
my baby ugly.
what? And so, definitely like listings management, I would say is something that I started to write
Yeah.
off that I'm way on the ship now for sure.
Yeah, love that. And then last one, which I actually think might be difficult for you because you're a pretty open person. What's something most people don't know about you?
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I am pretty open. That's
Yeah.
let's see here. Something people don't know about me. Well, I mean, some people know, but I mean, I was the mascot in college. I was the University of Texas Longhorn in college.
What? You were the Longhorn?
I was my freshman year of college. I it's actually funny. I went to like freshman camp or whatever we even called it
Yeah.
then, and so there's 4 mascots, or there was at that time at Texas,
Sure.
and one of the guys, he was like, "You're so funny. You should do this thing," and I was like, and so I tried out and I freaking made it. I had no mascot
That's so
experience.
crazy.
Okay, but here's the second part of that story you're gonna love. This is the true thing nobody knows about me. This is an exclusive.
All right, second exclusive drop, guys. We've got it here first. Let's go.
When I first started franchising, I was so fucking broke. I'm sorry, I'm cursing on the show.
No,
I was
you're
so
good.
broke because I had left my other career to like franchise this
Yeah,
business.
to franchise a business. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I moved back in with my parents at age 40. Fine, great, no problem. But I needed money, and so I saw a job posting for the Chick-fil-A cow.
And you've been a mascot.
I've been a cow mascot, Paul. Not just a mascot. I have cow mascot experience.
I
But you want to hear the best part? I did not get the job.
what?
I know.
No.
I think I said too much. I was like, well, I said too much. I was like, well, I'm franchising my company and I'm living with my parents.
They were like, whoa, this is a lot.
They were like, we need a serious cow
A
mascot,
serious cow.
not just like a moonlighting cow. So yeah. So that's the fun fact is that I was the mascot at the University of Texas, and then I applied to be the Chick-fil-A cow mascot. Did not get the job.
I mean, hear me out. What better way to sell a franchise than be like, I literally will do anything, including trying to be the Chick-fil-A cow to make this successful. What more does anybody need to hear?
I actually was really excited. I was like, this is perfect. Like, I know I can do it. It's so fun. I mean, it paid like $25 an hour. I mean, at that time I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. So anyway, so to the Waco Chick-fil-A, you really missed out.
You missed a dynamite. She would have been a great cow mascot.
Correct. I had
Okay,
and
well,
somebody's like, "Oh my god, you were a mascot." I'm like, "No, no, I had cow mascot experience and did not get the job."
yeah, that's you've won. That's my favorite answer to that question
Thank you.
so far. So congrats on that. To wrap the show up, I like to be a good late night host and give you the mic. You got a minute. Where should people find you? What should they look for that's coming out next? What's happening in your universe that everybody needs to know today?
Yeah, well, for folks listening to this who are big in the franchising world, listen, tell your other franchising friends about us. The folks you know in different cities that you think would be great. I mean, we have a few people even within the franchising space that have been like, I kind of want to be a part of this. I want to
Yeah,
be a franchisee of DivaDance, or someone you know. This is a great business for someone who, is burned out on their day job, but they're maybe not ready to get out of their day job, and they care about empowering women. They want to inspire confidence and build community. I'd love to talk with them. We have a lot of great territories available. Still, some really good, big, juicy, great opportunities for folks.
yeah,
But the other thing is just like I love being a resource to people. So
yep.
don't hesitate to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Love to be a resource. The last thing I'll leave you with, Paul, that I don't think I even told you this. You're gonna love this. This is like the
Okay.
final exclusive of this episode. This is a really good one.
Everything comes in threes. Let's go.
Exactly. So to answer your question, where can people find me? If you asked me that 1 month ago, I would have said divadancecompany.com because that
Uh,
was the URL I was able to get many years ago because someone else had divadance.com. I'll tell you the story over another time, but long story short, about 1 month ago, I got my domain. So you
let's
can now find
go.
me at divadance.com. You absolutely
Yes.
can find me there. So that it's a long story. It took me 10 years to get my
Oh
domain,
my god.
but I got it. And so you can now find me at divadance.com.
All right, everybody, you heard it here. If you're looking for a fantastic cow mascot or an awesome dance franchise, divadance.com.
Yes, sir.
Jamie, always a joy. Thank you for giving me
Really
40
fast.
minutes of your time today. I
So
appreciate it.
fun.
And everybody else, thank you for listening to another episode of Behind the Franchise. I knew this would be a fun one. James is an awesome person.